Oh, Doctor, we are on the 13th floor of Exdeath's castle at the end of World 2, about to take on the man himself. A lot of players, and for a lot of parties, this can actually be a bigger barrier than the final boss itself, the final form of Exdeath. That's not really the case with this party, although there's no such thing as a snoozer of a battle with this guy. There's a lot of versatility we have in taking on Exdeath and a lot of things we can do. We are floating as before because he does have the an Earthshaker attack that he can use. We're going to start with a couple little buffs here for us. That one's not too big for us, but that's okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of speed boosting here. So we're going to say eye drop, turtle shell. We're going to get our speed up. Everybody has combine except for Ferris, the bard down there. She has not quite learned it yet. That's okay, though. You don't actually need to mix that. You can just drink the speed drink. And Lena can mix herself into haste. No problem. Turtle shell, eye drop is haste drink. So that's the float you can apply beforehand. There's actually a few different tracks that Exdeath can take with his AI in the first form. So some of the tracks have Earthshaker on, some don't. Or I think it's one has Earthshaker and other ones don't. So during this phase, I'm going to be just buffing this character up, and we're going to be applying a few of the buffs. So I'm going to have her applying image status on my front row characters, and we're going to get shell on some of the characters who are not. Okay, yep, there we go. We're going to get shell status on some of the characters who are not in the death sentence. Right there. And actually, I probably should have waited on Lena to give her the haste drink, because I am going to have to reapply that. That's okay. Slight error in execution there, because I'd already seen who was condemned, because she's going to go down, and anything that we put on her is going to be useless in terms of the haste. So we'll have to just put that back on her. No problem. It's just going to waste us another turtle shell. And these Samson powers and hero drinks and all this stuff, this is just going to buff us up while we're getting ourselves in place here. Let's put another image on to Ferris. And Ferris can actually get herself into shell status. So that's going to be magic damage that comes in is going to be put in half. We're going to keep buffing a little bit here until we can get our white mage back on. There's not really a great reason to stand around. I kind of want to have him go through his routine and see where he's at with things. We can then do like a revive everybody to a cure 3 and then just go on the offensive. Looks like she can get one more casting off, which is nice, and then she will hit the floor. Cool, so there was a nice dodge. Thank you very much. So we're going to hit a Phoenix Down, and I could have done actually a Phoenix Down mixed with a potion would have been a full heal. That's not, again, a slight error in the execution there, but not a problem. I'm going to put image on her so the random physical attack can't just plunk her down. And we're going to put the haste status back on her. She can do it on herself, but this gets her there a little bit faster. I'm going to skip the floating part because I don't know if there's an Earthshaker, then she'll go down, but everyone else will stay on their feet. And there, indeed, there was an Earthshaker. She had just a little bit short on the on the hit points. That's too bad. That's pretty funny, but that's too bad. So actually now there's not a whole lot that my bard can do at this point, so I'm actually going to move her to the front row and she can go on the offensive. Here's where you can see, by the way, the Phoenix Down mixed with a potion and the full heal. It's called Resurrection. So that brings her all the way up, which is pretty nice. So let's see what a physical attack is doing. Oh, I hadn't switched over to the epee sword, that's right. And, okay, cool. So Lena is still going to be alive. So now I'm going to get a little bit better knife into Ferris's hands. We're going to go with the air lance. Actually, you know what? We can go with the dancing dagger. Let's go with the dancing dagger. That way she can do a sword dance and pull off some decent damage. Dispel is actually a pretty rough one because that takes everything off. And Exdeath does have that ability. Exdeath can do Dispel, which kind of takes off everything. Now, I won't need all this stuff all the time. I won't need it all the time. But there are a lot of times where I do want to have, especially haste. That's a big one. So we're going to be reapplying haste fairly often, I believe, here with this team. I don't need another cure here, but I'm going to put the, not shell, I'm going to put image onto my front row red mage. Okay. Let's see if I can pull off a sword dance. Nope, not today. So I still had a pretty weak dagger in the hand of my new little red mage, Kara, or Kurudu, or Curl. So let's see what she's doing there. Little bit more respectable. Not huge, though, sadly. My chemist has an air knife. After drinking a number of hero drinks, yeah, that's what she's got. So she's got more buffs, more boosts. Cool, there's just a straight-up image miss on Ferris. So immediately, I'll put regen back on Lena. That can get a little bit of work in. Yeah, there we go. And so I'm going to have to drink another speed drink. It's okay, though. And every Samson power is going to boost my mage by 10 levels, so that's going to boost her damage as well. I want to keep my bard alive, kind of for that reason. I always pause at this point because if zombie breath kills a character, if it takes somebody down to 0, they turn into a zombie. That actually didn't take anybody down into a zombie, which is pretty nice. Let's see where we are with our Drain Kiss, because she needs health anyway, and that's going to be a nice source of damage. You can see that obviously is going to be a huge source of damage for us. I don't like to just jump in and smite all of my turtle shells in the world, but it works nice when you do need to get some healing done. This one, you can see she has not had a bunch of buffs with the hero drink, so her damage is significantly lower, although it's still kind of by far the most damage we can access. Let's get another image on my front row character there, my chemist. When Exdeath gets below half of his full health, when Exdeath gets below half-ish, about the last 16,000, then he's going to go into what we call kind of the desperation mode or berserk mode, and that's what actually his less dangerous mode. And because of that, we're going to start putting some walls on our characters, because those walls are going to reflect his big. Oh, there was a physical attack. Walls are going to reflect his big attacks, his big magical single targeting attacks. Sadly, they do take away our ability to do Cure 3 targeting everybody, but I do have access to. I'm going to try to rush him down into his second half mode. We do have access to all of the great chemistry that our chemists can do to heal us up, so we can do really good healing from our chemists. So yeah, like now where she doesn't have as much health, she's going to get it all back right here. And I probably should have put image on her before I put the wall on her, but that's okay, because she'll probably take a hit and go down, or the wall will run out by itself. And then I can put image on her and then reapply a wall status. So let's see what it looks like. Fire 3, so that gets, as you can see, that gets reflected. And then he can use physical attacks as well. A lot of times he will do 2 attacks or two actions. I'm just going to keep the turtle shells flying. I'm just going to keep them going. No reason to mess around too much with this guy. And there he goes. I could have sat back and saved some turtle shells, but would have taken a little bit more time. And so I thought, why not? I've got my hero drinks boosted us up, and then we're just going to do the Drain Kiss. So that you saw, if you've been watching, every time you see Drain Kiss, that's kind of one of the many secret amazing abilities of the chemist is that Drain Kiss. That actually brings us to the end of Act 2 of this game. If you can believe it, that is the end of World 2. We're about to head on to Act 3, the final world here. I'm going to do a few of the side quests. I'm not going to go through all of them, I don't think, with this party. You don't really need to do any of them except the first pyramid. But I will probably also go grab the Holy Spell just so we can see what that looks like with this party. And then we're going to head down and really, really, really wreck the final descent and the endgame bosses. If you want to see how you can help out Isuna for Corona here in the spring and summer of 2020, do check the link in the description below, and we will see you next time.